Hey y'all, hey, if y'all are interested in how I got these set of nails, keep watching because I'm going to show you how to encapsulate today. Stilettos, pumps, in the club. Whoever thought that these girls would get? We doing stilettos today, y'all. I'm going to cut them down just a little bit though. And then I'm going to get my little clipper, clip both sides from like the middle, and then file it up. It don't take long at all. I do like my thumb and my pinky just to be a little tiny bit shorter than the other nails. So you just want to find that middle right there, take your straight edge clipper and just clip up the nail from the middle on each side. Don't go crazy with your nail clipper because once you clip too much off, then you can't, you have to put a whole nother tip back on. So just get that initial clip, just get that initial, shape that you want on each side, and then go in with your hand file and finish shaping up the nails. This does not take long at all. See, so pretty and sharp, y'all. Now I'm going to get my e-file with my sanding band and I am going to blend the tip.
Be afraid of the hunt, wherever it takes us, or whatever it makes us. Find what matters, and keep hunting.
I did go back in and file the nails just a little bit more after I got through blending the tip, you guys. I wanted to make sure that shape is nice and sharp. So these are the products that we're going to be working with today. And we are going back to the first thing that I ever really did when I started doing nails was encapsulating, you guys. I have not done any encapsulated nails in a while because I've been on my nail art journey and I've been doing a lot of nail art, a lot of drawings, line work, etc. So yes, I'm excited to do this. I was excited to do this set. I love encapsulating nails, and now since I actually understand and know how to do it, my nails look so much better, you guys. When I used to encapsulate nails, y'all, I just knew I was like, I just knew I was it. Like I was doing the damn thing. but they were so thick, so super thick. And I didn't really get the concept on how to encapsulate nails and make them look pretty without making them look overly bulky. So the first thing I'm putting down is this right here. I'm going to make it as thin as possible because I'm going to be adding a lot more layers onto the nail. So that's the first layer, and now I'm going to get a little bit of clear so that I can add these little flakies onto the nail. And I had done my right hand like 2 days beforehand, so these things have been sitting, and I guess where I was picking them up last time with the clear acrylic, they kind of stuck onto the plate, so I have to kind of scrape them babies up a little bit. So once I get those scraped up, we're gonna continue putting these little flakies on the nail. I'm gonna be adding some clear acrylic here and there. And the concept of encapsulating is you want to use wet beads for your clear acrylic. You want to use wet beads. And you have to trust the process because it's going to get thicker and thicker and thicker. But you want to keep it the shape. You still want to keep the shape. So make sure you're wiping your sides. Make sure you're keeping most of the product in the middle of the nail. You want the clear acrylic to run all in between whatever you're encapsulating on the nail because you want it to encase everything. And like I said, this is definitely a trust the process because the nail is going to get kind of thick. But the trick is, well, I'm going to tell you the trick once we get to it. So I'm going to let you finish watching these, and then we're going to get on to the next set of encapsulations. Look at how pretty it is already, you guys. This is why I love encapsulating nails, especially when you know how to do it now, especially now that I know how to do it and I know how to get it thin and get that nice structure onto the nail. It's just so pretty. So now I'm going to go in and encapsulate some more on the nail. This is why I'm telling you, you have to trust the process because the nail is going to get thick. And I haven't even done the cuticle area or the apex yet. So yeah, this is why you have to trust the process. So now I'm going to get some more clear acrylic and put these flakies on. Now these flakies are a little bit more fluffier and puffier. So yeah, some of them are sticking up, but it did not matter because I had the clear acrylic encased all around it. So even when I went to file, I was filing the nail down, but I was not filing any of the flakies off the nail. And if I did, you could not tell it because it's not a particular shape. Now, if you were doing a heart or some type of animal femur in the nail, then you would really have to make sure that maybe you laid that one down first and you encapsulated it. And you encapsulated it enough to make sure that once you filed that nail down as thin as you wanted it, you would not be clipping any of the character or any of the heart symbol off of the nail. So once I get all these flakies on, I am going to take my clear acrylic and put a thin layer of clear acrylic over the bottom half of the nail before I go in with the cuticle in the apex color, which is the pink color that I'll be using. I believe I said that was the Fiesta Siesta. So when we get to the Fiesta Siesta, I will pop back in and continue to give you all my little tips and tricks to encapsulating nails. I'll be back.
Hey, y'all, hey, check out Kiara Creation. She does nail art with no limitations. She's great at colorful sets, big bling sets, seasonal sets, and 3D sets. Watch her swatch, she can teach you something about acrylic and ombre. She's creative and funny, she's lovely to look at. She's a cutie, enhancing nail beauty. Her greeting every day is hey y'all, hey. So check in with Kiara and chill for a while, and enjoy the vibe. You will see the ingenuity of her creativity. Hey, yeah. Hey, y'all, hey. This is Kiara Creation. She's lovely to look at. So watch while she does her sets. Hey, y'all, hey, y'all, hey, y'all. Kiara Creation. Lovely to look at. Watch her do her sets. Kiara Creations.
Okay, so what have we done? We put on the first layer of acrylic, that blue, pretty shimmer blue color with the gold accent hints in it. And then we put a little clear acrylic over it. Then we went in with our first set of flakies as thin as possible. We put some more clear acrylic over that. And then we went in with our second flakies, which is the more fluffier flakies. And we put a little bit of acrylic over that. And then once we finished all of the encapsulating throughout, having clear acrylic here and there, then we went and took our clear acrylic and took it over the entire bottom half of the nail. Now I'm going in with the Siesta Fiesta. And as you can see, it looks like a big ball on the top of my nail. But trust the process. Trust the process. You want to get that apex up there, because what you're trying to do is you want to kind of match that height of the encapsulated part. So you're going to have to kind of put it on there a little thick. But once you start to file the nail, you're going to do some debulking on the apex of the nail. You're going to see, I'm going to leave the filing in so that you can see what I'm talking about. Because even when I put down this Siesta Fiesta, the pink, the apex, and the cuticle part of the nail, I still have to go in again and put another layer of clear acrylic, but this time over the entire, and I'm sorry y'all, I'm out of frame, but you know when you're trying to get that acrylic to kind of run down, you want to lift your hand up, and I didn't realize that I was out of frame, but I should get back in there in a minute. But I'm just trying to kind of like lift my finger up so that that acrylic can come down the nail, because you know you want your apex to be a little bit thicker than the rest of the nail. So once I get the apex on there, it's going to look really thick because it has to be thicker than the encapsulated part of the nail. So I have to make that thicker than the encapsulated part of the nail, and then I have to go back in with the clear acrylic and encapsulate the entire nail. So it's a lot of clear acrylic basically, and it's a lot of layering on top of and on top of. But the key to being able to file down the nail and get it the correct thickness or thinness that you want is to make sure that you have enough clear acrylic. And not only that, you have to build the nail up with clear acrylic. So basically, you want to keep that shape. So you want to keep the apex. You want to keep the, everything is basically just going to be 3 times thicker than what you want the nail to be. But you have to continue to use that clear throughout the nail. So even though once you finish, it's going to be thick, as long as you have the apex thicker than the body of the nail, once you file into that apex and bring the entire nail down, it's going to be the thinness that you want, and it's still going to have the structure that you need, if that makes sense. So it's going to go from, say like your body. Look at it as your body. You have a pretty Coke-shaped body, right? So say you gain about 30 pounds. You still have that Coke-shaped body. It's just super thick. Like, girl, you thicker than a Snicker. Like, you out here, you when you walk, you jiggling and you shaking, you feel like a whole grown woman. Like, you are embodying your thickness. But say, you want to look good for the summertime, so you decide to go on a diet. You want to lose a little bit of weight so that you look good in your 2-piece bikini on the beach. So once you shed some of that weight, your shape is still going to be the same. You're still going to have that Coke body shape. It's just going to be thinner. That's the same with encapsulating. You have to keep the shape, even though it's going to be thick at first, because you have to have that clear acrylic throughout the nail to keep you from filing off anything. Then once you shave it all down, you still keep that shape, but you have it to the thinness that you want it. I hope that makes sense, you guys. I don't even know. I don't know how else to put it. That's the best analogy that I could come up with. Because you want to keep the shape. You got to have it thick, though. You have to have it thick because you're going to shave it down. So once you shave it down, You still want the same shape, but you don't want it as thick. But you have to have the acrylic throughout the nail because you don't want to shave anything off. The clear acrylic protects the pieces in the nail. So yeah, now you're just going to see me look at the nail. Once I finish, make sure once you finish with encapsulated nails, y'all, and any nails, not just encapsulated nails, you need to look at the nail. You need to look, especially with encapsulated nails though, you need to look around the nail, side of the nail, right, left, up and down, and make sure that that clear acrylic is all around that nail. So it's kind of hard to tell because it's clear. So sometimes you might have to touch it like I just touched it right there on the thumb, and I seen that it was like a little dip right there. So I need to put some more clear acrylic right there where there's a dip. You don't want to have any dips in the nail. If anything, you want it to be thicker than not, because you want to make sure that that clear acrylic is everywhere. So once you make sure that it's everywhere and everything is covered, then that is your protection. Your clear acrylic is your protection. Then you can go in and file. You can go in, go crazy and file. So I started with the sides first, and I did go over the top of some of the nails where with the file because it's a little bit less harsh, and wherever some of the little particles were sticking up on top of the nail, I did use the hand file to kind of bring that down a little bit. Now I'm going in with this bit, and I am basically debulking the nail some. I'm bringing down that apex on the nail and just making sure that the structure is correct on the nail. Once I finished filing with the E-file, I did go in and buff. I used the E-Nail Couture buffer, and y'all, this is my favorite buffer that I've used so far, but you have to be careful with that buffer because it can file down your nail. Like, it's a really good buffer. But once I finished buffing the nail, I did notice one little lump. You know, sometimes on the side of your nail where you have one little lump that you want to bring down just a little bit, and it doesn't matter how much you use the file, the file is just not hitting where you want it to hit. So I'm going to show you one little hack to getting that one little part of the nail down that you are trying to get without interrupting any other parts of the nail. And some of you guys may already know this, but some people are still new to nails and they may not have realized this yet, or they just don't know it. Nobody ever showed me this because a lot of people don't show filing anymore. So I'm going to show you one little hack to straightening out the nail with ease.
Creations.
Okay, so here's the hack, you guys. After I finish buffing, I noticed right here, you might not be able to tell it, but there is like a lump right there. So you're going to take your e-file and your sanding band. You want your sanding band to go downward, and you're just going to touch right there. Wherever that bump is, you're going to touch right there. That sanding band is going to be filing downward, and it's going to file that lump right on off, and it's going to straighten that nail right on up for you. So simple, so easy, because if you continue to keep filing with the hand file, but you're not touching that part that you want to file down, you're going to continue to change the shape of the nail. You're going to continue to bring the nail in, and that lump is still going to be there. So take your e-file with the sanding band. Make sure that sanding band is in a, I guess it would be, I don't know if it depends on what hand you are, if you're right-handed or left-handed. But just make sure that sanding band is filing downward, and then just touch right there where you want that little lump to go away, and it's going to file it right off. Now that I got my top coat on, you guys, I always use this little brush and just wipe the edges because I don't use my fingers for anything. I do not want to catch any type of allergies, you guys. I'm going to wipe the nails to make sure that there's no type of top coat dripping or hanging off the side of my nail. Now I'm going to get these cute rhinestones. These are high quality rhinestones, and I believe I got them off of AliExpress. Don't forget to put top coat on the bottom of your nails as well, especially when you are doing encapsulated nails. It's just going to make everything so crystal clear. So now I'm going to put these on sporadically on the nail. I'm going to put like one big one and then maybe like 2 or 3 little small ones on the nail. And that's going to be it for this set. Super simple, but very beautiful. The end results come out gorgeous, you guys. It is a trust the process because as you've seen, the nails were looking a little suspect at one point, but the end results are absolutely gorgeous. Thank you guys for watching. If you are here and you have watched this far, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed already, please consider subscribing. And if you have a hype left, go ahead and hype me up. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. One more thing, you guys. These things are like knives. They are so sharp. So if you want them to look sharp, but you don't want them sharp like to bring blood to anything or anyone or yourself, or poke your leather couch, put a hole in your leather seats in your vehicle, I'm telling you, these things can get like knives. You're just going to take your buffer and just lightly go over the tip of the stiletto and dull it down just a little bit on the tip, just on the tip, and you're still going to get that sharp look without you poking your eye out or poking anywhere on your skin and bringing blood to yourself. Thank you guys for watching. See you in my next one.